Right, this morning I'm going to show you how to divide and repot sarracenia, flava, var ornata. So this is one that dies back part way over the winter, and you can see the winter leaves which it keeps over the winter. That's how you can normally identify this between flava and aureophila. Aureophila dies right back down to the rhizomes. It's coming up for the end of February, and this is the perfect time to do them really before they come into growth again. You want to pull out all the dead leaves that have died right back to the rhizome, and then we'll cut the rest off in a minute. It's quite a fair sized plant this. This is a 1 litre pot, and we're going to take it out of its pot in a minute, see if we can get a division. I'll just show you what size pots to put those in. It's got quite warm recently, so I'm sure they'll start growing shortly. We've had a very cold spell recently. It's kept them all dormant for a while. I've got fresh new compost here. It's important to use fresh compost each year. This is a new mix which has actually got pine bark in it, so it's quite a new blend we've got, and hopefully it's a bit more environmentally friendly as well. A reduction of peat, and with the intention that the plants will still maintain their colour and grow properly. So we just cut all around the plant. Probably 3 or 4 rhizomes here, but it's not always easy to split them, so I'll just show you what to do. Still a few dead leaves in here. It's important to get rid of these. Let the light get into the crown. New growth can come up properly. So, take it out of its pot. See, the old compost is pretty black now. It's like sort of like mud. It's been in here a couple of years now, this plant. So we'll take all the moss and the weed from the top. We'll scrape the soil off in a minute as well. You can already see a couple of rhizomes around the plant, facing in all directions. Some of them don't have long roots on. Some of them, they go right down into the pot. But occasionally you'll find they just got loads of spindly roots like this. But they're very tough plants, very tough roots. We're not harming them at all doing this, as long as you don't do it when they start growing, because then that can stress the plant quite a bit. So as you can see, we've got rhizome there, and the main crown right at the back there. So what we want to do is find one around the edge that's got roots underneath it, like that, and then you want to literally just turn it apart like that, and you'll see that it's got roots on it, because once it's broken from the rhizome, you'll then need to tug it a bit to separate the roots, which are then tangled up. And as if by magic, 2 plants. That one I'll leave. I'll put back in the 1 litre pot for dividing next year or the year after. That one will be potted up separately in a smaller pot. About a third compost. Pop the rest straight into the middle of the pot, because it's actually growing in all directions. If it's just growing in one, and you want to put the rhizome, the back of the rhizome at the back of the pot, and then that way you've got 2 or 3 years before you need to repot it again, otherwise you end up having to repot them manually. Backfill it again. incorporate the compost all around like this. And once you've cut all the leaves back, you're letting more light into the rhizome. This time of year, that will really help them start growing again. A little tap. You can compact them in quite well, they don't mind, sarracenias. And that's that one done, ready. That'll go straight into a tray of rainwater, so it can draw the water up now and won't be too stressed. This one, you can see, is just a single rhizome. You want to pull all the dead growth off from around the outside. This will reduce the fungal disease like botrytis, because that can really get a hold of the sarracenias in the spring. Some are more tolerant than others, but it's always important to keep the rhizome above the soil, remove any dead growth, that way they can dry out naturally. If you end up burying the rhizome, they can rot quite easily. Got about a 4-inch pot here. This is the one we use down from the litre, and then that one, a 3.5-inch pot for even smaller divisions. So again, about a third full. And then you want to rest your fingers just at pot surface, sorry. Backfill around the outside. Keep it underneath the rhizome, make sure the roots go straight down. You don't want them sort of bent up and twisted, you want them to go straight down to the bottom of the pot. Keeping the rhizome free. Firm it in. That's nice, that'll be a nice plant. These leaves die off over the summer, so you can leave them on while they're green. Just make sure they're all cut down to the rhizome when you repot, and that'll be fine now, that's ready to grow. Sarracenia purpurea. This is another one which a lot of people ask about because it looks quite a bit different over the winter, and you divide it up in the same sort of way, but you'll find that the rhizomes break off without any root attached. It's not always easy to get divisions of because they stay a lot more compact and clumpy, but this one is virtually evergreen, so this one will look fairly full of growth in the winter even though it's dormant, whereas the rest of them, such as Oreophila, will look very much dead this time of year. So that's the difference. Sarracenia purpurea. I won't actually cut all these back either when I divide these. I leave them on, and then the new leaves grow through and I just pull them out as they die back during the year.